Hello and welcome back to Games Played Technically. Today we're back in XCOM2 War of the Chosen. And last we left off, we were getting ready to start the faction mission. For this mission, our team will be divided into two squads of two. Each will escort a member of the Resistance faction. We're pairing our new rookie, Jessica Cook, with McLeod. We selected Jessica for her genius combat intellect. The rookie gets the hair trigger and a flashbang. McLeod will try out our new frost bomb.
The charges in this grenade don't seem all that powerful, but according to Shen, the liquefied gases inside should lead to an instantaneous freeze effect.
Our second squad will be Jouet and Nat. In hindsight, I think it would have been worth it to bring another rookie rather than Jouet. Still, I give her the new bolt caster.
It may only provide a single shot action, but this thing hits hard. Even an edge hit could potentially stun the target.
It's not great for the majority of the mission, but I'm gambling its high damage potential will pay off towards the end. Nat will take the Hunter's Axe, similarly because it should pay off later.
Maybe a little unwieldy, but in the right hands, this thing should cut down anything standing in your way.
Also, a shotgun should make up for Jouet's weaknesses in the earlier part of this mission. And off they go.
Deployed.
We're in the pipe. 5x5.
The Reapers and Skirmishers have been at each other's throats for years, so we're keeping the exact meeting point strictly need to know. You'll split into two squads, rendezvous with each faction, and bring their envoy directly to the location of the meet. Officially, this city no longer exists, so we don't expect a lot in the way of advent resistance. Still, keep your eyes peeled. It's been about 20 years since we last stepped foot in this place. Proceed to the first set of coordinates. Firebrand and the second team will head to the next drop point.
Detecting increasing biological signatures in the area ahead.
Then I'd say we're in the right place. Stay sharp out there today, people. Just because this city was abandoned doesn't mean it's lifeless.
If you are hungry, there's more where that came from. Impressive reflexes, but unnecessary.
Stand down. We're all friends here.
You are safe here. More so than you imagine. We shall see if the same holds true for these skirmishers of yours. Your presence already disturbs them. We must move quickly. My people will take care of this camp. Come.
Uploading the coordinates to the rendezvous point now. We've plotted the most direct route there. We don't know much about the skirmisher contact you'll be meeting other than his name. Mox.
Mox. Praetor Mox. His death squads wiped out entire camps of my people in the first years of the war. You would dare do this?
Pretty sure hands are bloody on both sides of this fight. That's the whole point of this intervention.
Reapers are born in the shadows, in the cold, harsh world that was waiting for us out there. We rely on stealth and long-range attacks. And our marksmen are unmatched by even the best XCOM has to offer.
So here is Dragonova, our first faction soldier. She is a Reaper and her key ability is Reaper Shadow, which is like concealed but more concealed. She can get way closer to enemies and she's not revealed if the rest of the team is spotted. She also has a chance of staying concealed when firing from concealment, which is pretty useful. Let's take a look at the map. It's empty for now.
I am at your service.
We'll move our Reaper up a bit.
Damaged and dormant all these years.
These devices still emit trace elements of unstable radiation. I cannot fathom what they were like in their original function.
We were there, Doctor. You're better off having missed it.
Hagen and Central give a little backstory on what happened in the early days of the invasion. We're gonna move up as far ahead as we can on this turn.
10-4.
No more time for regrets. We are not alone.
Those things, they still look like people.
What was human died years ago. Only the taint of the aliens survives now. Where there is one, more will follow. You must not hesitate to destroy them.
These creatures' DNA has mutated well beyond what we would classify as human. Perhaps the result of long-term exposure to the alien radiation from those pods. Though why anyone would subject themselves to that, I cannot imagine.
When the governments fell, millions starved. Many fled to cities such as this to scavenge for food. They did not heed the warnings.
The taint of the aliens indeed. I was a little impatient here and already ordered McLeod to miss her first shot.
These creatures' true strength lies in their numbers. As you can see, they fall easily. If we are careful with our shots, we will prevail.
And that introduces us to headshots. The Lost are movie zombies after all. What this means is that any kill shot on an enemy Lost will grant an additional action. Grenades don't count. We'll roll again with Jessica.
Taken care of.
And she's already a squatty.
It's still moving.
So there's no need to risk losing Outrider's concealment. We'll just move her to a better spot in case we need her. As you can see, these basic Lost are not particularly speedy.
My people have encountered these beings before. At first, they may appear mindless, but they hear quite well. In great numbers, they can be very deadly.
We move up Jessica to improve her chance to hit.
Enemy down. My weapon's spent.
But we forget to check that our weapon was close to empty, so not enough actions to attack again. Hopefully McLeod will land a shot. And she just needs to do that 3 more times.
My ammo's running low.
Obviously she can't, but maybe she doesn't have to. I move her up and chance this 80% shot. It lands, but we still have 2 Lost up. The Lost are probably still too far away to be dangerous, but it doesn't matter because both Jessica and McLeod have enough movement to climb up on the fire escape with Outrider. Then Outrider moves up to get a better view toward our objective. I don't think Lost ever start off on the 2nd floor, so there's no concern over that.
I am on watch.
An entire city of our own people left to turn into these things.
Yes. All we can offer them now is a merciful death.
The reason the Lost didn't come up the ladder isn't just because they're slow. We used Jessica to block the landing.
Understood. Moving out.
We get Jessica and McLeod into the room and reloaded while Outrider moves to the far window overlooking our objective.
No one will cross. These creatures are worse even than Advent. They have no cause, no fear. They simply exist. If we do not defeat the aliens soon, we will become little more than they are.
Jessica and McLeod get some more easy kills and catch up with Outrider, who finally makes it to the fire escape, but our exit is packed with more Lost. I move McLeod out as well, which pulls in another pack. So we might as well bring Jessica along.
We risk all this for pray tell Marks? If he is not what you say he is, I shall kill him myself.
Looking forward to this meeting already.
While Outrider was busy being mad about stuff, Jessica murks another Lost. Now, I get a little stumped here because I figure there's Lost in the fog of war underneath us. But I think what I should have done is sent McLeod down to provide vision and use Jessica to thin out the pack. McLeod could have still retreated if necessary, and then we just repeat that until we can book it for the escape route. However, I don't do that. Instead, I consider getting Outrider to the next fire escape, but without knowing what's below, it's not really worth the risk.
Rock and roll.
I play it safe with reloads in Overwatch, but I think this ends up being a bad move.
Got it covered.
I won't let them pass.
Oh, come on.
So now we have all of the Lost, -1 thanks to Jessica.
Enemies down.
These two Lost do some weird stuff on the fire escape.
Central. Biological signatures are grouping into a singular mass. One closing in on this position.
A swarm. We must push forward before it arrives.
Jessica biffs it, but McLeod picks up some of the slack.
Ready to go.
Still, these moves don't get our squad any closer to escape, and as Tigan let us know, there will only be more Lost. At least now we know a few are right under us. If we're gonna make a big move, it'll have to be next turn.
For years, my people hunted his kind. For years, we survived. Now you risk everything for your dreams of peace.
If you haven't noticed, the aliens have been kicking our planet's ass for the past 20 years. You think maybe it's time we try something else?
If only your speeches could take down these cursed creatures.
Extraction point is close, but looks like these things don't want to make it easy for you.
We will make it to your pet advent in time.
Closing on target position now.
So there's really no way to get them all, especially with McLeod's aim, but we have to get moving.
Vault says hello. Good riddance. My ammunition is nearly depleted. They found it. Tell your gods I'm out of rounds.
Give me a minute.
Luckily, they're all too far to land a hit.
Though their intelligence appears almost non-existent, these creatures seem to employ some sort of rudimentary communication system. Perhaps auditory signals or some form of hive-like consciousness.
Your point, Doctor?
The entire swarm knows there is food here now. I would advise we make haste to leave this area.
And with Outrider revealed, might as well get 2 more guaranteed kills before getting out of here.
Moving out.
You should have a clear path through now. Second squad is already en route to Mox. Proceed to the rendezvous and await their arrival.
Oh, we'll be there.
Looks like trouble ahead. The rendezvous could be compromised. Stay focused. Contact! Get down! We may have a bigger problem here. saying that's our man. Well, our contact anyway.
Crocksod. Advent. Puppet. Voxtola. 410. They were sent here to hunt. To purge the Drop 10. The Lost. Our meeting point is still secure. She is free of the imposter gods. I would give anything that all my kind could say the same. Even sit down with your Reapers. Now, we must go.
Rendezvous with Outrider is further ahead. Proceed through this district as quickly as possible, but be careful. Something tells me this city still has a few more surprises to throw our way.
Surprises are the least of our worries today. It is these Reapers of yours that are of true concern.
We, the Skirmishers, were created by the false gods of this world to serve and die as their puppets. We retain all that we were and more, and our prowess in battle serves us well in our cause. In close combat, none can stand opposed to us.
This is Mox, our second faction soldier. He is a skirmisher, and they are defined by their mobility. This guy can shoot and move in any order, and he can even shoot twice if he doesn't move. He's also got a grappling hook that he can use to move to a higher position without costing an action. He can also use that grappling hook offensively. His bullpup is less accurate and does less damage than typical, but it balances against his mobility. So this part of the mission I know pretty well because of how much I used to struggle with it. Kind of funny considering I used to breeze through the previous part without Outrider's concealment intact.
Understood. Moving out.
Nat is about as far up as you can go without triggering the fight here. The trick here is to approach slowly. The goal is to initiate the upcoming engagement with as many moves left as possible and with Mox in position to grapple up to the shipping containers.
Not even close. Enemies on the move! They're flanking us!
These are incinerators. Their flamethrowers can be dangerous up close and they can throw incendiary grenades. They also blow up when they die sometimes. 2 hits would have taken down that first purifier, but our odds of dropping them both on this turn are still pretty good. It is time for Mox to grapple up to a flanking position. This 90% chance to hit shows just how inaccurate the bullpup is, especially at the start. And that crit for only 4 damage, skirmishers are still excellent when ranked up, but I think Reapers have an edge at the start of the game. Either way, that's 1 down. Bad chances means we have to expend a grenade to finish the fight.
This is for you.
Back in.
Mox needs to move up a bit, but not too far. We'll trigger the next engagement. We'll want to get our squad reloaded and into position. Zwe and Nat will stand on top of these shipping containers, and Nat will block the ladder just in case. Now it's time to move Mox up.
This is no patrol. It's an army.
Yes, one we do not have time to face.
Everyone, get back! Purifiers may be down, but unfortunately, that was our extraction point.
I fear that is not the worst of it. Multiple biological signatures rapidly on approach to your position.
The Lost. The sounds of combat excite them. They are drawn to it.
And you just blew up a fuel truck?
There was no other choice. Find an alternate exit. We will deal with the Lost. Draklar. Dashers. They are not as docile as the rest of their kind.
An apt description. It would seem the mutation has somehow accelerated these Dashers' metabolism, allowing enhanced speed and agility, with a corresponding increase in aggression.
It can't be said that Mox isn't decisive.
A 10 batal.
We'll move him back up to this container hanging from a crane. We'll also move Jouet to block the other ladder since we're about to get rushed.
Covering now. Target neutralized.
Hostile neutralized.
The shockwave of that explosion reverberated throughout most of the city. I would expect a significant reaction from the Lost.
The only reaction I will accept from them is their deaths. Find us that exit.
If they hadn't made it clear already, explosions reduce the time for Lost to appear. Also, Jouet's weapon really shows its weakness here. We get 2 shots at the most. It might have been better to have swapped Jouet and McLeod. Still, it's not likely we'll be overwhelmed here despite the sense of urgency. Mox's bullpup also shows its weakness, but the fact that he can shoot for free provides a backstop for those missed shots. 2 kills is well enough. Nat's shotgun fittingly is perfect for dealing with the Lost.
Scanning. It's down.
Hostiles pacified. Scanning.
I am watching.
Shot wide.
Shot failed to connect.
Their casualties grow.
Think we've got something here. Just need another minute.
You have your minute.
Nailed him. Gonna need to reload soon.
It's a little cheesy, but I know where the objective will be, so I just moved Nat and Jouet up to be ready for next turn.
Moving on target location. Back online.
Meetings are all over the place. The Lost are almost right on top of you. These Lost seem to be pretty sensitive to noise. The sounds of combat are likely to draw even more of them. We've found a new route that should get you to the rendezvous point safely. The Lost are still converging on the area, so make it fast.
That will not be a problem. Moving there.
Position confirmed.
Heading there now.
Headed there now.
I stand.
We're just about there, but I keep Mox up top on Overwatch to good effect.
Deny our creators.
I'm thinking about farming some XP, so we risk an 80% shot with Nat. Jouet easily lands her shot.
Enemies down.
With Mox, however, I decide to move down here, which was not great, as you'll see.
They live no more. Ammunition depleted.
Still, we get a chance to see his offensive grappling ability, Justice.
The light has left them.
Enemy down. Moving to Overwatch. Shot failed to connect.
Multiple injuries.
So Mox takes 2 damage, which isn't the end of the world, but it was very avoidable. We won't tempt fate again, so it's just time to go.
Solid copy.
Outrider and the first team should be waiting for you ahead. I know this wasn't the easiest stop, but I have to believe it'll still be worth it in the end.
That depends on the Reapers.
Rendezvous point directly ahead. Let's try and play nice today, people.
So, Advent's most brutal captain comes to atone for his crimes.
I am no longer that being. I am free now.
Taking off that helmet does not change what you are. Reapers have long memories. Elder Cruxard. Anytime.
The way I see it, we have two options. Join forces and kick the Elders off our world, or kill each other here and now. The choice is yours.
No one has ever done that before. No one shall ever do that again.
What the hell is that?
Vox Prima, Elder Assassin, relentless death that stalks my kind, Butcher of free Advent.
My people face another like her. They are the undying, Advent's curse upon us. We must combine strength if we are to have any chance of success.
You are welcome to try.
Your Reapers face a being such as this?
They appeared without warning years ago. Had they not, we would have already regained our home.
Such arrogance. The Elder's will extends throughout the universe. I am but one of their instruments.
So starting off this fight, we're already in a bad spot, mainly because Mox is injured. So we got greedy last round, trying to get more XP. So now Mox is down to 3 health, and that could be a game over, right? If he dies. So we're gonna play it very carefully here. And to start, we want to get Dragonova back into stealth. So we had to get her out of stealth. That was in the first part of the mission, where we didn't really move aggressively enough. So we had to use her to stop some of the Lost.
Let the hunt begin.
So now that she's in shadow, we can move her up a bit.
Volk says I am to obey.
There's really not any risk of uncovering enemies here, and we want to be reloaded.
I'm reloading.
Now I am feeling kind of keen on moving Mox before he reloads. We are going to keep him up here. So what I'm thinking is we'll actually move him down a step here. So we want to keep most of the squad close except for Dragonova, but not too close. I think there's a risk if we do that.
Heading out. Ready to rock. On my way.
And so we do want to get everyone reloaded here. And I am realizing now that the flashbang may have been the wrong choice. You'll see why in a moment.
Back online.
Heading out.
And just to ensure, or to give us better odds, it's really going to be a roll of the dice, but we are going to apply Aid Protocol on Mox as an extra precaution. It may not make a difference, but we'll see.
So many have already fallen.
So this is the assassin. She is one of 3 of the Chosen, and we got pretty unlucky with her. So the Chosen always roll 1 strength and 1 weakness. These are random. And then they always have 1 strength and 1 weakness that's always the same. So in the case of her strength, she rolled immune to explosions, which really sucks. The reason that sucks is because the weakness that she always has is that her adversary are Reapers, so she takes increased damage from Reapers, and Reapers get to use the Claymore, and that would do extra damage, and now it doesn't matter. So that is too bad for us. The strength that she always has is Shadow Step, which means that Overwatch is rendered useless. There's no point in using it. Her rolled weakness is that she takes increased damage from close range attacks. We have a few options to capitalize on that, specifically from our Ranger Cat. Even the Thrown Axe will count as a close range attack. And also Mox, if we use his Judgment ability, he can pull her close and use a close range attack against her. So we may have to rely on that since we can't use explosives, which is really difficult for the early game because explosives are the only way to guarantee hit. So let's get started and see how it goes.
And yet my work is never done. The elders grant me their vision, and with it, I am everywhere.
So I actually forgot she doesn't attack on her first turn. I forgot about that part. So that means we can still move a little bit if we need to. And so the assassin also has concealment, so she is hidden somewhere likely in the building here. So given the distance to the building, however, it might not be a great idea to try to sniff her out, especially with Mox weakened. And it is also unfortunate because we used our 8 protocol on the first go. So that means we don't have it to use on Mox this turn. We just have to hope she decides against going for Mox. So really the targets we don't want her to go for are Mox and Cat. So we might try to move them a bit out of the way. I don't know what her range is. And we do want to keep them... Actually, it might be a good idea to move them back here because they can hop down. In case she decides to attack and then run, she may jump off of this bridge here, so we want to make sure that they're close enough that they can hop down if they need to. Or in the case of Mox, just have a better chance to hit with his Justice ability. Let's go ahead and move Mox this way. And might as well hunker down. However, I don't think this applies to the sorts of attacks that the assassin will use, but let's find out. We'll also want to move McLeod, although the Frost Bomb is not as effective against the assassin. They can break out of it in their turn. It is still useful for removing one of their actions. So we want to have that option given that we are facing a more lethal assassin than we had hoped for. So I think we'll move her down here. And hunker down as well. Again, I'm not sure if that does anything. We will also move Cat a bit. We'll move him over here.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
And again, hunker him down.
Holding position.
So we'll move Jouet over here and hunker her down. And we'll also just hunker down Jessica here. So the hope is that the assassin will pick one of them as targets. And so the reason the flashbang grenade was a poor choice for this mission is because the Chosen are actually resistant to flashbangs. And considering the fact that it's better to just shoot the Lost rather than anything else, yeah, this was a poor choice. But in a sense, I suppose we lucked out because the assassin is immune to explosives anyway, so we don't really lose anything by not having a grenade there. At least we don't lose too much. And with Dragon Nova, we may actually move her up here. I just hope that the assassin isn't anywhere here, because in which case she may be spotted. So let's go ahead and move her. This will at least give her a height advantage.
I will wait in cover.
Damn, that stings!
Savor what time you have left. Once I have taken your soldier from the field, I am sure a wealth of new information awaits me, Commander.
It looks like the Chosen knocked one of our soldiers into a daze. We need to get someone over there to help them get back on their feet before that thing can move in and attack.
So the assassin decided to go for Jouet, which is not a terrible choice. She's got a little more health on her. but she's been dazed. And so when they're dazed, they have to be revived by an ally. And so this can usually return them to the fight right away. Sometimes I believe there's a negative effect from it. But the real risk is that if we leave them dazed, the Chosen can choose to capture them on their next turn. So we really don't want to leave them dazed. I believe daze will also wear off with enough actions. So we'll see how that goes. We've got to figure out exactly what moves we're going to make here. And so we did see the Chosen move in this direction. So we may be able to capitalize on using both Mox and Nat here. But I think our first move will be moving Dragonova down here and see if we can get eyes on her.
I am trusting you.
And so there she is. So not a great chance to hit from here. And we don't really have an opportunity to flank either, unless we use Mox to pull her out of cover. We may be able to do that. However, still not very easily. Since cover is not really going to matter a whole lot here, let's move Mox. Let's give Mox the best opportunity to pull the assassin out of cover. And that may be here.
No armor penetration.
That will not be enough to stop me.
And so we move Mox down there to hit. We don't have justice yet to pull her out of cover. Nat should be able to strike with his blade, but we also want to take a swing. We also want to see if we have a decent chance to hit with his throw. I really doubt it, but let's go ahead and move here. And let's see what our chances are. 43% is not great. I don't think we're going to go for that. We'll just go for the swing.
Only a true craftsman could create such a weapon.
Now, I think I might have made a mistake here. It might have been better to use the Frost Bomb first from a cloud. Let's see what she can do from here. So yeah, this is not close enough to hit. Really, our best chance is to just take this 22%. And that's a miss. So let's give Dragonova a chance to hit. 36% is nothing, but we're gonna go for it. And that's a miss. Hopefully she won't be discovered. She is discovered.
Now we fight in the open.
And finally, we do need to help Joie here.
Easy now, soldier.
And we will move the rookie down here, hopefully providing an enticing target. Joie doesn't have a whole lot she can do. So really we need to protect Mox most of all, because if he dies, we lose the mission. So let's go ahead and grant him some defense.
The mist surrounds. This is the beginning of the end for your resistance.
So her use of that blinding grenade was not the best thing, but it isn't the worst thing. It does blind the guy that we want. It does blind Nat, and Nat is who we wanted to use against her primarily. So I would like to try to freeze her this turn. However, that means getting Nat out of the way potentially. So rather than going for the Frost Bomb, I think we're going to go for the Thrown Axe. 83% is probably as good as it's going to get, given that Nat is blinded. Let's see what we get.
I had not expected this conflict to be so exhilarating. You surprised me, XCOM. Still, the Elder's will is that none survive this day. I cannot leave that to fortune.
The sonic dispersal waves emitting from that pod are crisscrossing a massive area.
Meaning that thing just rang the dinner bell for every remaining Lost in the city.
An accurate assessment. The entire Lost biomass seems to be converging on this position.
Then let's get you all the hell out of there. Firebrand's en route to the evac coordinates now. Get moving.
So the game may have gone easy on us. Blinding Nat was not great, but he was still able to crit with his thrown axe. That was excellent. And that put the assassin out of commission, right? She'll be back, but she doesn't stick around for too long this first fight. So we'll want to deal with some of these losses as we continue to move to the extraction point. So from this point on, the number of loss showing up is really going to ramp up. That has to do with this guy right here doing what it's doing. So especially for this part, kind of the bolt caster was meant to deal with the assassin. Don't think it was the best option regardless, because it really limits Joë's ability to deal with the loss here, despite the accuracy improvements. So let's at least try to make use of that. We get 100% here. And then rather than reload, I think we'll move her here so that she'll block the ladder there so they don't come after her. We do want to get Joë out of here alive as well. For Mox, let's put him back on the high ground here.
Tactical movement.
This will save him a move. They won't be able to hit anything, but we will move him over here to block this ladder. There are still some ladders nearby, but it may prove a further run for them. I believe similarly for McLeod, we're going to want to just get her up here. These loss aren't too fast, so I believe we'll still be okay. We'll put our rookie into a better spot, although her chances to hit are not great. Let's go ahead and take a shot here.
Enemy destroyed.
There goes one, and she earns her promotion. So here's another coin flip. Not bad. And one more. Excellent.
Weapons burn and ammo fast.
So we will reload.
It's killing time.
And I think we're going to move Dragonova up here with a dash action, as her accuracy is pretty high, so we might as well guarantee her shots. As far as Nat goes, he is blind as a bat, so we're going to move him here. And we will then move him over here. So I believe the blindness should wear off in the next turn. So we've got to keep moving. Mox does get a free shot here, either way, whether it misses or it hits, so we're going to take it.
It is dead. I need ammunition.
That's good news for us. And we'll move Nat up a little bit here. However, we don't want to hesitate too long. So our best option may be climbing into this building, as most of the loss will be on the ground floor. However, we don't have an easy way of getting there. We will have to cross some open space, regardless of how we play it. So let's move Mox here first and see what gets revealed. Nothing. Okay, so we could reload here, or we could... No, you know what? We will reload with him, and we will move Nat into this position just to block that ladder. And Mox will reload. So we will just go ahead and dash McLeod up, since she's so far behind. We'll move the rookie up a little bit slowly. And so we'll move the rookie up even further. I don't think Overwatch is necessary to start here. We'll go ahead and reload Dragonova. And we'll have her Overwatch here. Joë will reload. And move up. All right, so So we have a pretty decent chance to hit these guys both. Again, we're going to go with Mox first because he gets a free shot regardless. And since Mox is hurt, we don't want to necessarily risk him again. So I think let's move Nat up to here. Let's take a look. So we don't see any more loss in these lower areas. So we're just going to take this guy out. 90% chance is pretty good. Now we're going to go back to Mox. He still can't... So Mox can't dash to this spot, which is where I wanted him to go, but he can make it here. And next turn he'll have his grappling hook. So instead we'll move him up on this RV. And we'll have him overwatch here. So at this point Dragonova is pretty far behind. So both Dragonova and the rookie can make it to this balcony here. So we're going to move them both. First, Jessica up to this spot here. And then finally Dragonova blocking the ladder here. So we're going to have Jouet dash up behind Nat. And similarly we'll dash McLeod. Just getting them as close to the ladder up to the balcony as possible.
Affirmative.
Affirmative, covering now. Target's still up.
So our primary concern is with getting these 3 squad members up to high ground. And I believe we should be able to get all of them up in one turn. And actually that's what it looks like. So again, because Mox gets a free shot, regardless, we'll have him take his shot here.
The light has left me. I have no ammo.
And then we will have him grapple up to this spot. We won't do anything else with him yet. We will instead make sure that the rest of our team gets moved up to here.
I'm all over it.
Similarly, we'll move Jouet up to here. And McLeod will block the ladder here.
Got it.
So Jessica and Dragonova are already in good spots. We'll go ahead and move them up. And for safety, we'll put both Dragonova and Jessica on Overwatch. Similarly, we'll reload Mox.
Reloading weapon.
And we'll put him on Overwatch.
There will come a day when my people take back this place for our own.
If they are all like you, that is a likely possibility.
So unfortunately, Mox missed that Overwatch shot. Additionally, it looks like some of these Lost are trying to head us off here. The first thing we're going to do... Oh, and actually it appears that Jouet can take a shot through the door. Somehow. Let's go ahead and try it at 88%. That's not too bad.
Hostiles pacified.
I see it had her open the door first. And we will move Nat up next.
Moving to designated position.
Since Jouet already fired her shot, we'll also move her up. And have her reload. Now, once we get off of this ladder, the Lost will be able to climb up to here, so we do have to be careful for that. However, we can't just stay here forever, but we will take a free shot with Mox.
We take from the elders depleted. Moving there.
And we'll move him here and put him on Overwatch.
Attacking on sight.
Similarly, we're going to move McLeod here and put her on Overwatch. And both Jessica and Dragonova are going to dash in this direction.
Rolling out.
And so this might be a little risky. We don't know what's over here. We could have a bunch of lost climbing up here. So this might have been not the best choice because we only have Nat to put on Overwatch here. But let's see how it goes.
Got it covered.
And so interestingly enough, Nat and Mox are close combat specialists. Both failed to hit the approaching Lost. However, McLeod picked up the slack and earned herself a rank up to Corporal. So good on you, McLeod. We'll go ahead and guarantee the hit with Jouet and hopefully earn her rank up. I don't know if she's earned one yet. Next, we're going to move Nat up to the balcony here so we can get eyes on the extraction point. And it is actually looking clear. The problem's going to be that not all of our units can make it down there, potentially. Let's see, McLeod's going to be the decider here. And she is just short, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to make do with that. We can get it the next turn. But that does mean we have to play defensively this turn. So I think the trick may be to just stack up on this balcony here.
Heading to that location.
We'll move Mox up here since he can't get to the balcony without dashing. So that way we can reload him just in case it becomes necessary. We still have a few lost to worry about. And then McLeod is simply going to rush to the balcony.
Target down.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Firebrand's in position, but the evac zone's even hotter than we thought. Running out of time here, people.
Tell her to hold as long as she can. We will be there.
So Central's being a little dramatic here. We are pretty much guaranteed to make it. And I don't think we'll even risk... Well, you know what? Mox can take a free shot. And you know what? I actually don't know if... So you'll see, but Mox may not benefit from any of the XP we're gaining. I'm not entirely sure. But I don't want to give away what happens. Either way, we get a free shot here. Whether he misses or he hits. And he hits. So good on you, Mox. And because Jouet has a guaranteed hit here, we will also take that one.
Enemy eliminated.
And we will move her onto the extraction spot. We'll get the rookie down here as well.
On the move.
And we'll take a few shots with her.
Target down. Hostile neutralized. Running dry. Nailed him. Out of rounds.
This rookie's proving to be a hell of a shot thus far. However, the amount of XP they gain from those kills, I believe, gets reduced after a certain number of kills. And finally, we have Mox. He will have to dash, but he'll make it.
Confident approach. The entire swarm converges upon us. We cannot hold this position much longer.
Outrider to Avenger, where the hell's our exit?
This is as low as I can get her.
No! I do not intend to die this day. I will follow. Fox Tala 410.
Time to return home, traitor.
And that is where we have to end the episode because it is already way too long and probably late. If you liked the episode, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the bell so you're notified when new episodes drop. There will be a new Satisfactory episode on Monday, and the next XCOM2 episode will be out in 2 weeks. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this series. It really doesn't get a lot of views, but I enjoy making this one. I am kind of trying to figure out how I present these videos, right? Towards the later half of this video, I kind of did it more off the cuff. I think that feels a little more natural, although I think my script reading improved a little, maybe not a whole lot. Either way, I appreciate you watching, and with that, I'll see you next time.